Hi ladies, so here you see me taking down the old design. I'm actually filing off the previous design on my aunt here. I'm going to be doing her fill-in, and with the new design it's just going to be a fill-in with the clear shimmer acrylic that I made myself out of Mia Secret Clear. So I'm just repositioning here. Moving on now, I'm just taking down the bulk of design and kind of the bulk of the acrylic. You'll probably notice throughout the video that her nails do kind of grow in a funky kind of way, so I just try to go with the flow and go with the way her nails grow because she doesn't actually have a tip on. I just basically went over her natural nails with acrylic. We originally did them with forms and took it out to a certain length, and when her nails grew out to that length, we were able to then start doing her fills and new designs with just acrylic over her natural nail. So here that's all I'm doing. I'm just taking down that design, taking the old gel polish off, which is usually what she does. She usually doesn't like to typically do colored acrylic or anything like that. That way we are able to change it pretty quickly. And here I am using my safety ceramic bit from Todak USA, and that is the medium grit. The old kind of design on that other nail, the ring finger, those were the butterfly nail foils from K Lilia that I won. So moving on here, I apologize if I ever get a little out of focus. I'm working with kind of just what I have right now, with my phone recording and trying to have that in, it's kind of an awkward position, but I'm making the best of it for right now. So I'm hoping that I'm getting a little better at this as I go along. So basically here I'm just now taking down the design, the old design, and the bulk of the ring finger here, and I'm using this at a medium speed, again with the safety ceramic bit in a medium grit. It's not at a very high speed, although you know, you don't have to worry about doing much damage when you still have the bulk of the nail on there, but you definitely don't want to have it too high because you definitely don't want to burn your client. So I'm just going ahead and taking down the bulk of that in the old design, like I said already. So and that's what you'll be seeing me do throughout these few nails. And if you ladies have any questions or advice or anything like that, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, or you can email me at my email address, which is SharonCarrero36@gmail.com, and I will also leave that in the description box for you. And so I'm just looking at this nail as I go along. I like to look at the sides and down the barrel of the nail, which is through the front, and just making sure that I'm getting the bulk down to the point where I like it and feel comfortable with, so that I could go ahead and put that bead at the cuticle area and fill it in nicely. And so just moving on to the middle finger now and doing the same thing here. I love that hollow chrome. It just makes everything look so pretty with all them colors. And that's what I used on the last design. I used a stamping plate from Clean, and then I used the hollow chrome powder. And she loves these a lot, the chrome powders. I have a few different colors so far. So what I'll do is I'll skip ahead to when I've basically finished the filing and I'm getting ready to do the hand file and the fill-in. Okay, so in moving on, I was just a little out of focus here, but I was basically finishing taking down the old design and the bulk of the thumbnail on the right hand, and I was just basically moving on to now the left hand and just showing you what it looks like underneath. That is the clear acrylic with the shimmer in it. So in moving on, I'm basically just using the hand file, and I'm going ahead and shaping the free edge and also doing the body of the nail and the cuticle area. And that's basically what you want to start with. You want to start with the free edge, the side walls, well, the side wall, free edge, the bulk of the nail, and the cuticle area to get the acrylic down to where you can fill it in with basically not being able to tell that the old acrylic line is there. And so that's all I'm doing right here. So here you just see me using my Enailcouture hand file, and this is their 180 grit file. I just use this light gritted file to do taking down the fill line so that it's easier to do the fill in the back. And you can find these on the Enailcouture website for about 75 cents. So here I'm just using my cuticle bit. I have already sterilized all the products that I'm using here. I use the ASP disinfectant spray. I also disinfect mine and my client's hands. So this bit here is the cuticle clean bit, also by Todak USA. So I just use this to get in the back of where the fill needs to be done, and I've already put, excuse me, can't speak today. So I've already pushed back the cuticles, and I'm just getting whatever dead skin is left over on the plate. And this is very, very helpful, as this helps with about 85 to 90% of lifting. So if you can't do this step, I would recommend using a light grit hand file to get as much as you can off that nail plate. Also to get a very good cuticle pusher with a scraper on one side to scrape as much as the dead skin as you can off of that nail plate. Because like I said, when you do the acrylic or gel application, that is going to help with almost all of your lifting. So I'm just going through each nail and getting all that dead skin off of the nail plate, and I'm doing this on a very, very low speed, pretty much as low as my electric file will go. So that's all I'm doing here. I'm hoping that you ladies are enjoying my videos, because I'm really getting a lot of enjoyment out of doing these and sharing them with you. So here I've finished doing the cuticle work and getting the dead skin off, and I'm going to be using my OPI Bond Aid, which is just a step I use after the dehydrant and before the primer. So I put 2 coats of each on just the nail plate itself, so wherever that growth came out, that's where I'm putting it. Sometimes she gets minor lifting just because of how her nails are very thick and wide set, so she gets minor lifting on the sides. When CJP starts selling their products to the US, I'm planning on getting the acid based primer, because I know that helps a lot more rather than the non-acid primer. So here I'm just going through, I'm putting, and as you can see, she has a greenie on that finger, and that is because, now let me tell you ladies, nail techs, we can only do so much for our clients. If our clients do not come to see us when they are supposed to, which is about every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how fast their nails grow, this is what happened. She didn't come see me for way over a month, almost 2 months actually. And she had lifting, and because of that, water got up under her lifting and her nail and trapped moisture under there, and she ended up getting greenies on a couple of her fingers. So I had to go through with that, clean it and sterilize it with alcohol. Well, here I'm using my Mia Secret primer. So, and going back to what I was saying, this is why you have to see your nail techs when you're supposed to, okay, ladies? Because if you don't and you get lifting, those can happen. Now, it's not that serious. It's pretty minor in the whole scheme of things. Basically, her nails are continuing to grow out. I continue to take care of them. In between each set, I sterilize it and clean it and let it breathe, and then I put a new set on. So it's pretty much just growing out with each fill. So moving on, enough about that, because I don't want people to think, oh my God, what is she doing to this poor lady's nails? No, this is based on clients when they do not come to see their nail professionals when they are supposed to. So I'm just doing the 2 coats of primer. I do one on each nail and then one right before acrylic application. That's what I'm doing here. So here I'm just showing you what I'm using to do her fill. That is my Mia Secret Clear. I keep it in a dish with a glass top. And I am using my number 10 brush with my Enailcouture Cotton Candy Scented Monomer. And you want to make sure you get all the air bubbles out of your brush before you pick up any bead, because you will be able to see that in the acrylic on the nail. So in doing that, I pick up a small bead to put right at the cuticle area. I just pat that pretty much from side to side with the tip of my brush behind the bulk of the acrylic, and bring it as far down as I need to, the sides, and then towards the center. Use the belly of my brush to bring the bead down the nail if I need to. Sometimes I end up needing a little more acrylic on the free edge, depending on how much of the bulk I actually took down with the filing. And you could go down the sides with the tip of your brush if any has gotten close to the cuticle or the side walls. You definitely don't want acrylic on the skin. If you happen to do that, you definitely want to get that off as quickly as you can. And so here I'm just adding more to the center, to the stress point of the nail, because like I said, I had taken down a bunch of the bulk on this particular nail because it needed to be reshaped and reformed. And so here I'm just taking another small to medium bead to build the stress point and the free edge of the nail back up to where it needs to be. You definitely don't want a thick, bulky nail, but it needs to be enough to where it's not going to snap and break on you, because you definitely don't want it too thin. I mean, if it does get too bulky, like when I first started doing nails, a lot of times I made that mistake of making them way too bulky, and I spent a lot of time filing, and that you don't want to do. You want to be able to do a majority of the job with just your brush. So always remember that it's better to take less than to take more. So here I'm just moving on to the next nail and doing the 2nd coat of primer right before acrylic application at the cuticle area. And so I'm just going to add that small bead at the cuticle area, because you definitely don't want to flood it with too much acrylic. And I think it's better to add it when the primer is still damp. That way you get a better adhesion. And like I said, I'm just using the tip and kind of the sides of the brush, the tip of the brush, to work that from side to side and bring it down with the belly of my brush. The belly of my brush. I don't know what's wrong with me today. It's too hot. But yeah, I'm just bringing it down as far as I need to. You know, if I need to get another bead of acrylic, I do that. But if not, I leave it the way it is, if it is just fine. And moving on to the next nail. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just adding the 2nd coat of primer and getting ready to put that bead at the cuticle area again. And this is pretty much just what I'm doing for the next 20 minutes. So what I'll do is I will let you watch a few of the nails being filled in, because I know when I watch nail videos, I love watching these steps just to kind of get an idea. I mean, if I can help anybody with the process and what I'm actually doing, then I want to do that, you know? So that's all I'm doing here. And it's crazy because I've gotten like so much better since I first started over a year ago. And that's pretty much just watching Liz Acrylic Nails. Shout out to her. Sophie's Bespoke Nails. Unique Nails by Tracy. Beautified Nails. Sarah R. Nail Designs. Oh, there's so many ladies that I love to watch. Absolute Nails. Her mother, which is Unique Nails. So moving on, I'm just doing the next nail, which is the pointer. And I'm just going ahead and putting the bead of acrylic on. And I believe I already put the second coat of primer. And so I'm just waiting for the acrylic bead to be absorbed by the liquid completely before I put it on. If I have any extra powder, I just kind of flick it off. So what I'll do is I'll just let you watch this a little bit, and what I'll do is I'll move on to the next process. And that's all I'm doing, nothing really fancy, just the fill. Okay, so here I have finished my acrylic filling, and I have files shaped and buffed. I've put down a base coat so that I could then go ahead in with my red high maintenance OPI gel color. This is the color she chose, and although it has very nice pigment and very good coverage, because I have done most of her sets with the clear shimmer acrylic, I have started today obviously doing the fill-ins with just the regular clear, but she still has a majority of her nail with the clear shimmer acrylic. So that's why you see that there, and that's why it says that in the video, because most of the nail is the clear shimmer with the purple shimmer in there. This the iridescent. It's not holographic. It's just iridescent that I made a clear powder out of. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going over each nail. It already has the base coat on it, and it's already dried. And the reason why I put this on there is because the last time I used this gel polish, I didn't use a base coat because I've never needed to before, as long as I had a rough enough surface, and it actually peeled off. So that's why I did that here. And all I'm doing here is taking a makeup liner brush and going down the sides with acetone before I cure them in the lamp, and getting any mistakes or sidewall not damage, but the color on the skin or in the cuticle or sidewalls there, if it's flooded at all a little bit. And you're not always going to get it perfect. There's going to be a lot of times where you get it on the skin. So that's all you do. You take a brush and you go down the, the sidewalls or the cuticle area with that. And so when I complete this and I am finished with her painting and curing, I actually cure her nails in my Sun UV/LED lamp. It's a 36 watt, and I find it to be so much better than my old UV lamp. It's really, really, really efficient, and I actually like to put them on for a minute, even though you could get away with 30 seconds in between each, just depending on how much the hand could actually fit in the lamp. I just like to do it for a minute just to be on the safe side. So that's what I do in between each coat, and I do 2 coats like I said. And at the end, I just go ahead with my IBD No Wipe top coat, and I'm going to go in on the middle nail with a chrome powder, which is like a burgundy iridescent shimmer chrome powder, and it's really, really pretty. It makes the nail look really nice. And then on the ring finger, I go in with a red Swarovski with silver trimming. It's so, so pretty. And these nails are actually in memory of her granddaughter, Tatiana. Her birthday's coming up. She passed away in 2013 in a car accident with her brother. The two of them passed away. And she always gets her nails done in memory of them with the butterflies and the stones. So Tatiana liked red, and Lorenzo, he liked orange. So every now and again she changes it up. And so as you can see here, this is the finished design. That is the chrome powder on the middle finger. I'm sorry, guys. I know you said to zoom in, but not that fast. I'm so sorry. I'm trying, guys. Bear with me. I'm so not professional at this at all. But this is the powder I used. I won in Nani's Nails, or Nani Ramirez, the Princess Pink 14, her giveaway. And I took total advantage of that and used it on the middle finger, even though it's very subtle. It came out so pretty. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until my next one. Bye now.